Alto is a committed leader in the efforts around environmental sustainability, and we don't just talk the talk, we're walking it.
So the City of Palo Alto has set a very ambitious carbon reduction goal of 80% reduction by the year 2030, 80% reduction from 1990 baseline levels. This is well ahead of the California goals, which target 80% reduction by 2050. So it's a bold goal. We're well on our way to do that.
The 2018 Green Building Summit here in Palo Alto, I think in many ways only reinforces what a truly forward-thinking and progressive city Palo Alto is, recognizing that in order to achieve the goals that they've set out and be as ambitious as they hope to be, it requires getting together such a diverse group of stakeholders.
We don't want to create new codes that sound great in theory, but aren't really going to make sense on the ground. So we've got the folks who are making these things happen on the ground at the table with us, helping us talk through whether or not it's really going to be achievable when you get to construction.
We have an incredibly ambitious agenda and hopefully we'll get through it all, but if we're successful, what we will do is create the space to bring in that diversity of perspectives, to harness, to synthesize, to hopefully harmonize them.
So the Green Building Advisory Group was established in 2013, and it contains several local stakeholders related to green building, such as energy modelers, developers, architects, engineers. And the group gets together to talk about what's possible for the future, given current technology and what's happening in the industry. The Green Building Summit is a retreat-like event, and we get together to discuss these issues in a charrette-style format. This year we brought several industry leaders together to contribute to the discussion, and also we have our Green Building Advisory Group, which is our local group of stakeholders, so it'll be a very interesting discussion.
The question of whether we'll get to net zero for energy and water with codes is an interesting one. My belief is that we're certainly going to get there with the majority of buildings performing at that level, and it's the job of the codes to help get us there. But what I'm really hoping is that the market gets us there first. The cost of energy is rising, the cost of energy production with renewables is dropping, and there's so many amazing technologies on the market now that the cost effectiveness is very, very close for most projects. So it won't take long for the market to take over, but in the meantime, it's the job of codes to keep ratcheting up the performance levels that we need to do.
Cities are the laboratories of democracy and where participatory democracy really happens. And so we learn from cities so that the state, when we develop the building code and new policy initiatives, we learn from cities like Palo Alto, and we can incorporate that to really drive the discussion. And so we depend on cities that are innovative and progressive and willing to try new things to inform the state in our goals.
Statewide, we actually need to reduce or achieve a 6 metric ton carbon dioxide equivalent per capita by 2030 and a 2 metric ton carbon dioxide equivalent per capita by 2050 to limit global warming and climate change. And cities doing their fair share to help us achieve these statewide goals is tremendous.
We recognize that we're doing more as a city than just improving our own city. We are showing other cities the way, what can be done. When people say it's too difficult or it's impossible, they can point to Palo Alto and say, look at Palo Alto, they did it, and here are the pathways they did to actually eliminate their carbon ultimately, in a very, very short period of time. We're not going to save the planet just in our city. We're only going to save it if what we're doing here is replicated and expanded and scaled up around the world.